yogis, welcome to your Maya reset. In today's practice, I am going to be using a yoga strap. And if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a hand towel, a normal size towel, a blanket, something you can use to loop or to drape. Even a scarf is probably more suitable than anything else. I'd advise you stay nice and warm to invite a softening. Have a blankie at the ready for your savasana and maybe even an eye pillow to close out your practice. I'm going to be opening my reset with one of the doTERRA oils, and this one's Ascend. I'm going to be working with the right palm today and pouring our Varada, our blessings, our offerings forward. And so I'll be taking my oil, and if you have your oil, and if not, hit pause and grab it at the ready and place it on the right palm. And the Ascend is such a beautiful oil. It's a really deep oil, and whenever I use my Ascend, I tend to use it more often than not for meditation. And it's beautiful to use for a deep restorative practice like today as we reset. And that right palm absorbing those oils, intermix it with the left and take a couple of deep inhales. And with the remainder of the oils today, I'd like you to take them to the temples and to the scalp. Maybe releasing some of that tension and that stress between the brow, that furrowing of the brow. And bringing some contact to the nasal passages. And really just awakening the entire head, the scalp. Opening this space and drawing blood flow to this area within your crown and your third eye. In today's reset, we're channeling the energy of Kālī. And Kālī is the goddess of time, creation, destruction, and power. And Kālī is typically displayed or depicted, if you like, as the goddess with multiple arms, more often than not 4 arms. And Kālī in her left side bears these 2 arms. Her left side, her trishul, her trident, her power and divine knowledge. The left arm, the kapala, the human head, the skull. And it's the right side that we're working with today. And we work with energies on a diagonal force. And so those energies of the left are so masculine and powerful, which is in polarity to our feminine side, because we're working to find balance with these energies. The right side, which is usually connected to our more masculine, strong, powerful side, is the side in which we offer forwards. And with the right palm elevated, we find our fearlessness of our abaya, our heart. And today's mudra we're working with, as you settle into whatever comfortable seat you choose, you're going to be releasing that right palm and opening it, Venus mound, that emotional mound, the highest point. And the fingertips draped open, the thumb draped open, and we rest that right palm just over the knee. And that right palm in this position, in this mudra, in this seal, if you like, is referred to as your Varada. And your Varada, the right path. Varada is an offering, and it's sharing your forgiveness, your compassion. It's a blessing. It's offering charity, sincerity. Left palm just draped open, ready to receive this beautiful energy as we begin tapping into our breath. Settling into your seat and finding your sit bones grounded and connected to the earth. Your Varada in your right palm, your offering, your blessing. Your left palm open, ready to receive. Closing down the mouth and take a deep inhale through the nose. As you draw the breath into your body, feel the cells awaken. And slowly releasing the breath out of the nostrils, reversing that journey. Inhale. And as we take our conscious breath, slowly releasing the exhale. Flow with your natural inhale. I invite you to, with the physical eyes closed down, turn the internal gaze to focus upon that journey of the breath. Becoming the watcher and sensing the depths that that inhalation can reach as you send that breath spiraling down your central nadi, your Sushumna. As you exhale, we unravel and unwind that Sushumna, exhaling and releasing the breath out of the nostrils. Naturally and organically slowing both the inhale and the exhale here. And if it's comfortable, find a mirroring and a matching with the exhale even to your inhale. And as you find yourself resetting your state, allow the breath to continue at this elongated state. And now draw your mind's eye to the depths that your breath was able to reach. Maybe that space around the navel, around that solar plexus, that fiery center within you. And as you feel into the energy of that space and that release through the belly, I want you to set an intention for today's practice. And your intention pertaining to the energies of Varada, the right path, the path of compassion, and the path of charity, sincerity, a blessing, an offering, and ultimately forgiveness. And without thinking about this too much and taking the energy back into the mind, stay low and trust your instincts and whatever comes to you naturally. The first thought that pops into your mind, and maybe it's pertaining to forgiveness for yourself, or maybe it's for a loved one that's close to you, maybe someone that's struggling in this time and that's finding themselves ungrounded, off-centered. And the divine knowledge and the power that you contain simply within your breath, your intention, your thought, and your Varada today, your blessings. I want you to take one final breath and really sit with that energy, knowing the power that it's able to carry forth, expelling beyond your palm, sending it out to those. Maybe you receive that energy within your left hand. Maybe you're receiving that shared energy. And as you release the control of the breath and you release your hold on that intention today, we take our reset in a compassionate, forgiving energy. Slowly release out of that Varada and draw the hands into prayer at your heart center. And take a breath. And find a bind and release the fingertips, taking a roll with the wrists. Maybe coming back to the sense of those beautiful oils, stimulating the creative mind and allowing those creative juices to wrap and embody the energy of your practice today. And setting things straight into alignment and on the right path for you. We'll reach for that strap or your scarf or whatever you're using today and find the legs extended. Heels reaching towards the end of the mat. And that strap or your scarf just nice and close beside you. And with the legs nice and active, finding some warmth through the legs, give yourself a little bit of a rub, and then we're going to be taking a tap, and we'll take the heels at least shoulder width apart here. And we'll take the left side first. And when I begin awakening, I like to take my fists, palms turned down, and drawing to the top of the leg and the sides of the leg. Run at the length of the leg. And rubbing out and connecting. So the calf, and that muscle on top of the shin, the tibialis anterior. And running back up the leg and then settle. And take a moment grounded in your sit bones to sense the energy, that stimulation that you're able to create with the power of your hands. And just as Kālī does with her numerous hands. Let's draw it to the right. Maybe taking a massage, a rub, a tap. Maybe you're cupping your hands. Right quad, inside and outside the thigh, and then running down the calf and the shin. Awakening the muscles of the legs. As we work through polarities throughout our practice and we invite fire and movement and activity, rajas. We balance that out today as you settle into stillness and feel into that energy, that activity. And maybe for you it feels like a gentle tingling sensation, maybe pins and needles, the cells excited. Let's take the soles of the feet in to meet the mat and find your hands over the shins, inhaling and drawing to a long tall spine. I'm going to keep the hands on the shins and then rock back around, down, and really arching out through the low back, drawing the chin into the chest. Inhale, draw the spine nice and tall and long, extending the crown to the sky and maybe drawing the heart forwards as your offering. Exhale, round it down. Really sinking in here. Maybe allowing the shoulders to fall in, the chin to draw inwards. Inhale, draw to rise. Find some length, some space. And exhale, release it down. As you continue with your breath, that energy of Kālī, the dark one, often depicted in either all black or in dark blue, a deep midnight blue. There's a misunderstood goddess. And she is an angel and a devil of the night. And as you soften into those energies within you. She is mistaken, for she has the power to expel and to absorb those energies from you. One more round. And through that, release, and through that fullness of time as you work through to destruct those energies and release the ego, you are able to find yourself closer to moksha and liberation. Take the hands now behind the hamstrings, and that rocking, tapping, cupping will draw now to the backs of the legs. Maybe giving yourself a little more space so you're able to take this down to the backs of the calves. Maybe focusing on just one leg or both. And then once more, settling into stillness, this time taking the hands on top the shins and draping the forehead. And feeling into those cells awakening now through the posterior, the back body. And yogis, once more taking your grip, but this time with your scarf or your strap, and hands to the backs of the shins. We're slowly going to unravel the back body to meet the mat. And finding yourself centered upon your mat. And those feet still drawn in. You're going to take the left knee into the chest. And if you're using your strap or your scarf, whatever you're using, from this position, we're going to be taking your prop over the ball of the foot, actively drawing from the ball of the foot, the knee in towards the armpit here. And single side, your Adha, happy baby. As you release the sole of the foot to the sky, back it off just a little, finding a bit of space for the hips. And then as you exhale, we're drawing that knee down in towards the armpit and allow it to drift off onto a diagonal just slightly. And staying here for 3 breaths. And you might find you've got enough space to take an extension with that right leg. Otherwise, stay up and grounded, allowing the sole of the foot to stay connected to the mat. And then we'll take a release through that left. And finding some length now through the back of the hamstring, left side. Now single side, Viparita Karani, focusing on one side at a time here today. Arms walking up your prop and finding them long. And the foot nice and active and flexed, toes drawing towards the face. And for today, this might be enough for you. Otherwise, take an inhale here, drawing that breath back in. And sending it to the depths of your belly, your solar plexus. And as you exhale, have a bend of the elbows. Invite a gentle bend. And just explore if you have a little more space available to you today. Inviting that left foot toward the forehead. No force. And as you find length through the hamstring, we're doing it with that sensation of a surrender, with compassion, sincerity, and forgiveness. And maybe you soften that left knee. And final release of the breath. You're going to be taking your prop into the left hand and your right elbow drawing down to act as an anchor for you as you draw the left heel open to the side. I haven't given myself quite enough space. And you might find you're able to draw all the way down for that left elbow to support you. Or maybe even you've got a little more space and you can draw that left foot all the way to the floor. All those same options available as that right foot stays up, sole of the foot grounded, or maybe taking that extension. And if you do choose that extension, using and relying upon that anchor to ground you, or maybe even drawing the right hand to encourage that right hip to ground, to open. We'll draw the left heel a little closer to the sit bones as you soften the knee and come back to that 90-degree bend you found earlier for happy baby. But this time take it across, sharing the love and drawing that prop into the right hand. We're going to take it across the body now, keeping that nice bend and that gentle 90-degree bend. Left elbow now anchoring. And taking that roll over the body, drawing that strap, your prop, to maintain that bend. And feeling that beautiful release in the twist. A little more active than what we would often have through the low back, the spine, that ringing action. Feeling into some forgiveness for your week. Some forgiveness for time in your seat, maybe. One final variation here with the strap on the left foot. And you're simply going to take an extension of that left leg now. And you might like to walk that right hand a little higher up in your support. And maybe even use the assistance of the left side too. And you can take this stretch active by flexing the foot. We're looking to square off the shoulders as you take that deep release through the left side of the hip. Left toes slowly drawing higher towards the shoulder. I'm going to take a cyclical nature here now as you find and the foot like a clock. And if it were a clock right now, the heel might be pointed towards 9 o'clock. You're going to slowly draw that circle down towards your 6 o'clock mark. Heel pointing towards 6. And as you roll back over to find that connection of the hips once more, we draw out to the side. And I have not provided myself enough space today. Maybe finding the heel now at 3 o'clock. Maybe 2 o'clock. Maybe 1 o'clock. I'm going to take the fullness of time in reverse. I'm tracking each hour now, making your count as you work your way through, keeping a soft bend in the knee if you need, and working through the length of the strap as you draw down. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, taking it across the body. That left hip can release as we draw through 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And second time this side, maybe reaching 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, And let's slowly draw it all the way back to center, finding the hips squared off and both heels meeting the mat. Release your prop, release the hands, palms open. And settle in. And just as we did in your warm-up breaths in your rounds, each posture we take, each asana, a version and a form of Varada. Your posture is your blessing. Your posture or your asana. We provide the energy of compassion, forgiveness, sincerity. Noticing that current imbalance from left hip to right and the stimulation and the energy you were able to create. Maybe even noticing the temperature difference. And as I take my palms now, my left hip buzzing and that beautiful warmth that surrounds that left joint. I feel comforted. And I feel gifted with that energy. And let's slowly release that prop from the left. We're going to take it across to the right by slowly drawing that right heel in and maybe just meeting the mat initially. Making any adjustments or taking any adjustments you need now you know where you're going. And draw that right knee in towards the chest. Looping your prop over the ball of the foot and both hands on your prop to begin. And drawing with soft elbows, that knee towards the armpit, that deep bend in the knee, your Apanasa in this pose, your wind relieving pose. Maybe you're able to get a little release and some relief here. We're taking your Apanasana into your happy baby. As you take the sole of the foot towards the sky, back it off just a little to find some length. And then with both hands still on your prop, drawing that knee down now, the right knee down towards the right armpit. And foot's flexed here. The sole of the foot open to the sky. And that left leg either extended, or if you feel a little more grounded, invite that left foot to meet the mat. And you'll find if you do draw that left foot in, you'll have a little more space you'll be able to find. Just make sure it's not because you're tilting the pelvis too much. You still want to keep a neutral low back and pelvis, feeling into some alignment there. And we're going to take the sole of the foot to the sky, finding our single side Viparita Karani. Your two hands, your two arms. I'm not quite as lucky as Kālī here. We only get two. Still taking that strap and maybe now exploring the length of that left leg and noticing the shift in energy that it creates with that hamstring. Maybe exploring that. Maybe with the exhale, drawing the toes a little closer towards the forehead. Now taking your props into the right hand. Release the left and we anchor in left elbow to meet the mat beside you in alignment with the shoulder. Slowly drawing that right foot out on a 45-degree angle or thereabouts. Nice and soft in that knee still, if you please. Maybe even taking a double wrap and bind of your prop. Once again, checking in with the grounded nature of the posture and your stability. And that left hip drawing back to ground, either with the foot on the mat, or feel into that extension and notice the change in the pelvis. And maybe this is easier for you to find a squaring off of the hips as your left leg acts as the anchor, your left pelvis as the anchor, left shoulder and left side body strong. Right here, right now. And just as Kālī fearlessly holds the strength in that left side, your right side surrendering. We're going to take that knee to bend now and draw that 90-degree bend. And slowly take it across the body, switching hands, left hand single or double wrap, maybe linking over your prop to draw it across your right elbow, now becoming that stable anchor as you release the right hip from the mat, and we draw over into your spinal twist, that beautiful deep release through the right side of lower back, lumbar spine, your QL, those tight muscles. Still staying nice and active through that left side, the powerful side, your right side, forgiveness. And from this point, I'm going to draw that left side to extend and find length through that right hamstring now. And shoulders still squared off, that right elbow down, acting as your anchor. We're going to find our connection to time, becoming maybe timeless as we feel into the fullness of time. Slowly releasing from your 3 o'clock and feeling into the effects on the pelvis as you find 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And as your hips square off to meet your 6 o'clock, maybe switching the hands. I like to hold on still and anchor in with that left as you draw through 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Adjusting as you need. 10 o'clock. Maybe you've got some more space and you go for 11 or 12. And slowly taking our way back through time, making our way back around the clock. And finding your journey through time. And that creation. And the surrender. Offering protection. And finding your end point. Your end point today, your destruction. Let's slowly draw it back, allowing that right heel to find 6 o'clock and release the prop. So beautiful, yogis. You can take your prop out of the way. Walking the feet back in. And feel the soles of the feet meet the mat and walk the toes nice and wide here. Windscreen wiper action as you allow the knees to fall to the left and then cross the body falling to the right, and maybe staying with those elbows as the anchor. Washing off that full cycle through both sides of the pelvis, both sides of the hip. And then settle into stillness. And find the feet shoulder width apart once more. Arms now extending and taking the fingertips towards the sky. Reaching active arms, and as you find that reach, feel that space from the shoulders, the shoulder blades leaving the mat. And just checking in, we're going to draw the shoulders back into their sockets now as you still reach actively towards the sky. But the shoulder blades become more active and you really embed, like we do in our seat, as you embed your sit bones to find that grounded sensation. I want you to feel into the grounded sensation now of the upper body of your shoulder blades. Inhale here. And as you exhale, curling out and drawing that contraction in through the heart. Exhale, floating through just 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale at the bottom. And your exhale takes you to the top, releasing those shoulder blades. Inhale draws you back, 1 more breath. And feeling the lungs expand, send the breath to the low belly. Exhale, doming out the back and taking that extension, fingertips actively to reach. And settle back into neutral. And we're now going to take a cross of the elbows and take a hold of the elbows, I should say, and cross of the forearms. And take the hands overhead. And similar action here now with the shoulder blades, but now taking the elbows towards the back of the room as you inhale. Find length through the side body, and as you exhale, taking a reverse shrugging action as you draw the shoulder blades, and it's such a small, subtle movement. Inhale. It's these small, subtle offerings. Exhale. The small gestures, and just like words alone maybe mean nothing, but it's the little things that all add up. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades down, side body. And as you inhale now 1 last time, let's find a release and draw the fingertips towards the back of the room. Your exhale now taking you into a bend at the elbow. Drawing those elbows into the side body, all the way in, palms open, ready to receive. Your inhale sends you to the back of the room. And just like wings, finding and feeling into an expansive state. 3 breaths here as you exhale, a shortening, a contraction. Feel the power and the strength within the muscles of the side body. Inhale, a surrender and a softening. And the energy of left side and right side body of Kālī. You exhale that trident, the divine wisdom, knowledge, the tools that she bears. The head, the skull, the Kapala. We inhale and rise. Offering forward the heart as you soften and find space, abhaya, and your Varada, your forgiveness. And this time as you exhale and draw all the way in, elbows to tuck. We're going to take the palms to cross now at the low belly, taking the elbows once more. And this time elbows drawing down towards the ends of the mat. As you inhale, take that shrug and draw shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, release the breath. Lungs empty. Feel into that space between the shoulders and the ears. 2 more rounds. Inhale, find your shrug. Exhale. Inhale, drawing to find a contraction, some power, some strength. And your exhale, your softening, your forgiveness, your blessing, your Varada, and the right path. Release all of this and take a roll to your favorite side as you slowly draw up to a seat. And coming back to the low body. And take some length through the legs. And find your prop once more. And this time with your prop, we're going to be looping it. And you might want to bend your knees for this one to find your loop over both feet. And feeling the big toes together to touch and some space between the heels and that prop around the balls of the feet. Slowly releasing the heels and keeping that spine nice and tall in your seat. Maybe finding the legs in a full extension. Otherwise, a soft bend in the knee is still really nice here too. And from your seat, we're going to slowly find our way walking down the length of your prop. And finding a forward fold, your Paschimottanasana, as you walk just one hand at a time. Maybe coming back to split the prop, or maybe even finding a double bind. With each exhale, we offer the heart forwards in a surrendering nature. Your inhale, that powerful side, and the strength, and the trident, and your trishul. And as you exhale, your abhaya, your fearlessness, as you offer your heart forwards. And as you inhale, your kapala, your skull cup, and the strength here. And as you exhale, you offer yourself forwards like your open palm and forgiveness, leaning into your Varada. Maybe walking up the strap just a little more, or if you have the space to release the strap and take now the outer blades of your feet, do that now. I'll take one more breath, inhaling that strength, that divine wisdom and the power. And as you exhale, we lean into and offer forward our body as a blessing. And bowing the head down as a sign of forgiveness. And your next inhale slowly draws you back to your seat. Take your prop with you. Releasing the contraction of the legs. And if you do have that blankie handy, nice to drape that blanket now over the feet and the length of the legs as we come back to the upper body. And your fourth and final round here through our series of asanas. Now 4 rounds symbolic of those 4 arms, those 4 offerings, if you like, of Kālī. And now with the prop and the hands shoulder width apart, we're going to take the prop overhead. And if you're like me and you have a noisy buckle, you might want to take that in one hand and then find the strap shoulder width apart. The noise frustrates me. I'm going to stay dropped in and connected as we inhale, taking the fists now to the sky and finding the length now from the sit bones all the way through those nadis that channel in your Sushumna and reaching for the sky, keeping the toes flexed, drawing towards the face. As you inhale, feel into that energy of the trishul, the trident of your left side. And your right side, that right open palm, the offering of your abhaya, the fearlessness. You're going to slowly take a drift of the shoulders back, and as you release back, you'll find a sticking point, an end point for your space, your availability, for your range of motion tonight in this moment. I'm going to slowly walk the hands a little wider, and if you're like me and you've got the buckle in one side, you'll just be taking a release out of the other. And still maintaining that tension through your prop as you release through the shoulders, you'll find a point that's just wide enough for you to take a complete circle and cycle now with the shoulders. And just as you did with your hips, we're now taking that into the shoulders, finding the full expression of time, the fullness of time, the expression of Kālī. And shoulders now down and fists into the ground at the 6 o'clock. We take it back and around the clock as you find your way back through time, slowly finding a circle and a cycle. This cyclical nature of the shoulders, the ball and socket joint, just like the ball and socket joint in our hips. Shoulders find 12 o'clock and pouring them forwards. And beyond that 12 o'clock, clockwise motion, we find 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. Opening through the back of heart now as you slowly draw down all the way to meet your 6 o'clock once more. Inhale and draw to rise. And as you exhale, take it beyond the back body. And taking 3 full cycles of breath as you inhale, draw to rise. And as you exhale, we soften, surrender, offering that Varada, that blessing, that compassion, sincerity, and forgiveness. Inhale the strength, the fearlessness. Exhale your offering. 1 full round to close out this cycle for the shoulders as you inhale, draw to rise. And as you exhale, release. And taking it all the way back to your home base, your 6 o'clock at the base, where your sit bones meet the mat. So I'm releasing from here and release that prop out of the way. And finding the hands beside the body in your staff pose, your Dandasana, as we sit in stillness. Notice now that tingling sensation and the activity in the shoulders. And we have awakened from the top of your head to the tips of your toes today in your reset, yogis. If you do have an eye pillow, or you know you like to drop the lights, and take that now as you ever so slowly now find your way to your back body. Maybe taking the eye pillow to the eyes. And finding your jumper, your blankie, and staying nice and warm for today's Savasana. And palms simply open, ready to receive. And the blessings that this asana brings, your corpse pose. And as always, yogis, if you have the advantage of excess time, please hit pause now and stay for as long as you possibly can. And yogis, as you lie here in stillness, with the back body connected to the mat, I'd like you to keep the eyes closed down and slowly find your way, your path, your right path, and back to your seat. Whatever comfortable seat you choose today, ensure that connection with the sit bones back into some support beneath you. A bolster, a block, or just feeling into the earth. And when you find your way back to your seat, we come back once more to close out with our Varada Mudra, that right palm open, fingertips pointing downwards, the thumb pointing downwards, and the palm, and the uppermost point, and the elbow softly bends, your left palm to draw into the pelvis to rest. And as you settle into this seat, this gesture, and this seal, your mudra is your offering. And who are you blessing today? Where do you send this energy of compassion, forgiveness? Maybe it's directed inward. Maybe it's directed out to someone special. Wherever you're sending your blessings, your Varada, to assist those onto the right path. And we take one more breath here in your seat to really feel in to this energy, this beautiful, blissful energy of charity. Releasing your Varada Mudra and finding a prayer at your heart center. As you inhale, find the crown lock. And as you exhale, draw chin down into chest. And yogis, wherever you send your blessings, your offerings in your practice today, may they be heard, may they be felt. The power that comes with them is grand. And it comes direct from the goddess within you, and the energy of Kālī within you. And you inhale, draw to rise. Thank you so much, yogis. Gently blinking open the eyes. Thank you for sharing your beautiful energy with me today on the mat in your practice. Varada, in the right path. Namaste.